right.
Yes, sir.
Hi guys, I'm Russ, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about a little bit of history of Hollywood movies. I can't stress the word brief in that title enough. Way more was going on than what I'm going to talk about. It's a really narrow view. Most of I'm going to be talking about two eras of Hollywood, the Golden Age, which was from roughly the 1930s to the 1960s, and what's kind of called New Hollywood, which is the 1960s to present day. First, I'll start with a little quote from Martin Scorsese. He said, "Each film is interlocked with some of the other films. You can't get away. Whatever you do now, if you think is new, was already done in 1913. Alright, so the Golden Age of Hollywood was defined a lot by what was called the Motion Picture Producers and Distributors Association of America, which fortunately they later just changed to Motion Picture Association of America. You might recognize the logo here from the end credits of most of the movies you've seen, probably. And that has a lot to do with why they were created. Actually, see, in the 1930s, movies were really starting to become popular in America, and there was a lot of outcry from the public, or the idea was getting a lot more popular for the government to censor them to make sure the theaters stayed clean and all that. But Hollywood didn't really like that, so essentially this organization was created so the industry could censor itself. They basically bought every theater in America, which was a lot easier to do in the 1930s than it is now. And the idea being that if a movie wanted to be popular or get any traction in theaters, they had to go through these guys first. And in order to get through them, you had to obey the Hays Code, which was basically just a list of rules and things that they couldn't put in the movies. It seems kind of ridiculous now, but at the time, I guess this is what people wanted. You couldn't have any sexual content, any violence, drug use. You couldn't have like sympathy towards crime, so I guess you could show it just couldn't be like in a positive light. And if you did show any of those things, then you didn't get to be in theaters. It's not like all the movies in here were bad because they were censored. Lots of really successful classic movies came out, but they didn't have as much fame as they do now. That change sort of happened around the 1960s. This actually comes directly from the MPAA's website. They said that specifically because of like the civil rights movement and stuff like that, they decided to sort of update themselves. With new kind of freedoms and more open-mindedness sort of spreading across the country, they decided to drop the Hays Code in favor of the rating system we have today, PG, PG-13, all that, so that movies could have violence and sex and stuff like that. It was just a system so that you could keep like kids out of those theaters. This is when basically the summer blockbuster was invented by Steven Spielberg in the form of Jaws. Lots of other filmmakers got their start around the 1960s and 70s. People like Martin Scorsese, I mentioned before, but the really financially successful guy was Spielberg. Jaws was like, again, the first really big summer blockbuster to come out. It was huge, they never really seen anything like it. And after that, Hollywood decided to kind of start trying to cash in on that idea. Every summer there would be some new big action movie, a lot of them from Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. You had Indiana Jones and Star Wars, and of course those all got sequels too the following year. Let's see, in 1975 actually, Jaws made, I think this number is $260 million, possibly $1 billion, according to IMDb, which was unheard of at the time. So that's kind of when that formula got started. Even Jaws got some sequels that they weren't successful. Because of Spielberg's success, they also started moving into more effects-driven stuff. That carries over even into today. We started getting stuff. This would be like in the 80s and 90s stuff, like Terminator, Jurassic Park, Titanic. Titanic being the highest-grossing movie of all time, until it was overtaken by Avatar, which was, of course, another special effects-driven movie, in 2009. And that, I believe, was just recently overtaken by the Avengers. So that was also another special effects-driven film. So that kind of era of sequels and special effects and blockbusters is still going on today. And I guess that's all I have.